What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to answer probably the most asked question on this channel, which is how do I even start investing? And within that, there's even a few more questions like what apps am I supposed to use? Do I have enough money to start with? What am I supposed to click on? And there's a whole bunch more. And trust me, I get it. It's overwhelming. There's a lot of information online filled with a lot of jargon, and it's really hard to understand. And I'm sure that you probably even tried to put the pieces together, but it just didn't make sense. So you say to yourself, hey, I'll try again tomorrow, and then you end up in this entire loophole process. So I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from here. And that's why I'm making this video. This video is going to cover the first few general steps that you need to know before you start putting your hard-earned money into the stock market. So the first part of this video is going to go over how do you know if you're ready to start investing. The second part of this video is going to go over how much money do you even need to start investing. And then the last part of this video is going to go through how to actually start investing into the stock market. And we're going to do that by going through some tutorials using WealthSimple and QUESTRADE. So anyways, this is going to be a jam-packed video with lots of valuable information. So sit tight, smash the like button, let me know what you think of the video down in the comments below, and let's get on with the show. Alright, so the first part of this video is going to discuss how do you know if you're ready to start investing or not. So there's three general steps that you need to understand before you start putting your money into the market here. The first part is going to be that you need to be able to cover your basic living expenses first. That is your priority. This means your food, rent, clothing, transportation, maybe some entertainment. Make sure those costs are going to be covered first before you start to decide to put your money into the market. These are the things that you work for, so these are the things that should come first. You got to keep yourself healthy. You got to make sure that there's a roof over your head and maybe have a car or some sort of transportation to get around as well. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is to make sure that you can pay off your high interest debt. In other words, make sure that you can pay off your credit cards. Credit cards got a ridiculously high interest rate, and that's how banks make a lot of money from people. So after you can put a roof over your head and some clothes on your body, make sure that you can pay off all of your credit card bills in full and on time at the end of every single month. You definitely don't want to be getting yourself into any sort of credit card debt. So the third and last step is to be building an emergency fund. Now I know that gives off like this special or fancy impression, but it's a pretty simple thing really. So an emergency fund is basically just a pool of money that you're going to put aside for an emergency. So the goal of an emergency fund is that you should be saving between 3 to 9 months of your living expenses in your emergency fund. So living expenses are basically just the things that cost you money for being a human being. That can be things like your food, your rent, your car insurance, or your gym membership, those kinds of things. And again, I know it sounds all fancy and all that, but it's a pretty simple thing to follow. So for me personally, I like to use EQ Bank's high interest savings account right now, just so I can keep throwing some money in there as my emergency fund. It's literally just a simple savings account that pays a pretty good interest rate compared to any other savings accounts in Canada, and I like to be able to take my money in and out when I need it. So I like to just keep throwing some money into that emergency fund in case anything happens, of course. So if you don't have an emergency fund, I highly recommend using the EQ Bank high interest savings account. So I will include a link for it down in the description box below if you want to sign up for it as well. So those are the three general steps that you need to basically understand before you start putting your money into the market. You got to make sure that you can cover your basic living expenses. You got to make sure that you can pay off any high interest debt, aka your credit cards. And then the last step is to obviously build an emergency fund just in case anything happens. You never know. Now, I understand that everyone's situation is going to be different, right? Some of you might be living with your parents, or some of you might be living by yourself, or you have a dog or something like that. Regardless of the situation, these are 3 general steps that I covered just so that it's easier for you to understand whether or not you're prepared to put your money into the market. So the second part of this video is going to go over how much money do you even need to start investing. Now, plain and simple, I personally think $500 to $1,000 is a pretty good start. And by that, I mean you should just deposit $500 to $1,000 into your account. I'm not saying that you should spend all of it in one shot. You can choose whenever you want to buy or sell your investments, so that's totally up to you. I'm just saying I think $500 to $1,000 is a pretty good start so that you can have some cash in your account ready to make some trades whenever you need to. Now, some platforms actually require you to have some sort of minimum deposit. I know Wealthsimple Trade only requires a $1 minimum balance, so you're pretty good with them, but I think some other platforms might require a minimum balance for you. But yeah, the point is that I just think you should put $500 to $1,000 into your account, and then you can buy, let's say, 2 shares of Apple just so you can kind of get comfortable with the process. And then you'll have some money left over. And as you get more and more comfortable, then you can just start making trades whenever you need to because there's money in your account. Okay, cool. So I hope that answers some of the most fundamental questions that are probably in your head when you're starting out with this investing stuff. I hope that gives you a good sense of where you should be financially before you start putting your money into the market. Now, let's head into the third part of this video, which is where a lot of the fun stuff is going to happen. We're going to start getting our hands dirty because I'm going to show you how to sign up for QUESTRADE and Wealthsimple Trade. I'll show you which accounts you got to sign up for, and I'll show you how you can deposit money into your account nice and safely. And before we actually get started, I just want to explain why we're going to be using QUESTRADE and Wealthsimple Trade versus the other online investing platforms that are out there. So long story short, the answer is just going to be about fees. So whenever you decide to buy or sell some stocks or ETFs, these online investing platforms are going to charge you some sort of commission fee. Now, QUESTRADE charges a minimum $5 fee whenever you buy or sell some stocks or ETFs. Wealthsimple Trade is actually commission free, so there's no stupid fees whenever you want to buy or sell. Then you have the investing platforms like RBC Direct Investing or CIBC Investor's Edge. Those guys are going to charge you about $10 per trade, which really just pisses me off. The other thing I like to look at is how the information is kind of presented to you. I mean, if you're going to be looking at numbers, percentages, ratios, and charts all the time on these platforms, I want it to be nice and organized so it's, a lot simpler for me to look at. And a lot of these banks like RBC and TD and CIBC and all these guys have their platforms looking like it's from the early 2000s or something. That's why I like to use QUESTRADE and Wealthsimple Trade, just because it's a bit more modernized in that way and it makes the information a lot easier to just consume. If you don't have any of these trading apps yet, then go check out the description box below. I've included a referral link for both QUESTRADE and Wealthsimple Trade if you don't have it yet. I recommend using both because I like using both. But you could just start with one if you want to get your toes wet with this entire investing thing. They're both going to be completely safe and reliable because they're, probably some of the most established names in the Canadian investing community, so you don't really got to worry too much about that. I'm going to be going through the entire registration process in a bit, and then I'll show you guys how to deposit money into the accounts as well. So you can just go ahead and click the links in the description box below, and then we're going to go through the entire process in just a bit for you guys to follow along if you're just starting out. I'm going to start with QUESTRADE first, and then I'm going to go into Wealthsimple Trade. But regardless, I'm going to leave some timestamps in the description box as well. just in case you wanted to look at Wealthsimple Trade first instead of QUESTRADE, whatever works for you. All right, so I'm gonna get started by using QUESTRADE. I'm gonna go through the entire process of registering for a brand new account so you guys can follow along literally what I do step by step. And if you have any questions along the way, then please feel free to leave it in the comments below. That's why I'm doing all of this, to help you guys out. Now, I recommend using the online platform of QUESTRADE. So you're gonna do that by going onto QUESTRADE.com. Instead of using the mobile app, the online platform just has a lot more information and it's a lot easier to understand. I mean, the mobile app is pretty good, but just for the sake of this video, we're just gonna be using QUESTRADE.com. All right, so we're gonna start by going onto QUESTRADE.com. Now on this screen, you can see that it says open an account in this big green button. So we're gonna start by clicking on that. All right, so now on this page is telling us to choose an account, and it's divided into two sections. The first one is self-directed investing, and that's when you want to, do your own buying and selling of stocks or ETFs and options and other investments. If we scroll down a little bit more, it's telling us about Quest Wealth, which is basically when there's portfolio managers and things like that that manage your money for you. All you got to do is just give them your money. For the sake of this video, we're just going to be talking about the self-directed investing. So the very first option here, it says margin. Now, margin account is, in simple terms, basically like a normal bank account that you use for investing. So you can put as much money as you want in the account. You can take as much money as you want out of the account. So there's a little bit of flexibility that way. But one of the biggest things against this account is that you will be getting taxed on all the money that you make. So on any capital gains that you make or any dividends that you get paid, you will get taxed on it. Okay, so now the second one is the tax-free savings account, or the TFSA, and I'm sure you've heard about this one. So the TFSA is a little different compared to the margin account because it's considered a registered account, which basically means that it's regulated by the government. All that means is that there's certain rules that apply to this TFSA account compared to a margin account. There's a couple of restrictions, like how much money you can put in and how much money you can take out, and how much trading you can do in a day. There's certain rules like that, but one of the biggest things that are really beneficial from this account is that you save money on all your taxes, meaning that you do not get taxed on any money you make in any of your investments in the TFSA, which is phenomenal. You will save a lot of money using this account. So you can find out what your contribution room is for your TFSA by going onto your CRA account, which I'll leave a link for in the description box below, so you can just refer to that and check what your limit is. If you don't have a lot of money left that you can contribute into your TFSA, then you can open a margin account, no problem. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be going through the TFSA registration process just because it's a nice beneficial tool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the tax-free savings portion here, and then I'm going to say add offer code. So now this is where you're going to come into play. You got to go into the description box of the YouTube video and take that coupon or that long number code that I have under QUESTRADE and apply it into here. So just copy and paste it, and then you can hit apply, and then you can just say, yes, I've read all the terms and conditions, and then click open now. Okay, now it's saying that we can open up this new account. So we're going to create a user ID first. We're going to press continue. First and last name, sure. We'll put first, last name, email address. I'll pick one here. All right, now we're going to create a user ID. Let's do Nick Hill Investing 101. Password, I don't know. All right, and then we can press continue here. So now it's just telling us to kind of build the profile here. So it's divided into 4 different sections. You have personal, employment, financial, and citizenship. So we're going to start with this personal section. I'm just going to fill out a bunch of BS, to be honest. We're going to go to employment. We can say, let's say we're employed and we work for, let's say, a big bank. Let's say we work for Enbridge, and type of business is oil and gas or resource industry, sure. Job title, let's say some sort of producer. Producer, sure. Fill out the address. Are you employed by a securities dealer or stock exchange? We need to know for regulatory reasons. They're just trying to make sure that you're not doing some sort of insider trading or some sort of sketchy things. So for this here, if this does not relate to you, if you're not working for any securities dealer or stock exchange, just click no. Is anyone associated with any of your accounts a reporting insider or a significant shareholder for a publicly traded company? Just press no. It's probably not going to be related to you. Are you a foreign or domestic politically exposed person? No, nothing related to me. All right. And then you can just press done. Now we can go to financial. Here it's telling us to just put our annual income. Let's say you make $35,000 a year. Liquid assets are assets that are easy to convert into cash. So let's say I have about $15,000 worth of liquid assets. Fixed assets are difficult to convert into cash. So that could be like your house or a car that you have, or some sort of valuable, I don't know. Let's say we have a house worth $500,000. Sure. Liabilities are the total amount of your current debt. So that's going to be your credit cards, loans, mortgages, line of credit. Let's say, I have $40,000 worth of debt. I don't know, making up numbers here. And then you would just press done and then carry on from there. Now let's go into citizenship. So I am a Canadian citizen, not born in the US, not a US person. You put your social insurance here. You can confirm this. Are you a tax resident of a jurisdiction other than Canada and the US? So if that relates to you, you can just press yes or no, and then just certify that all the information here is correct and complete, and then you just press continue. After that, all of your information should be filled up once your profile is filled out, and then you would start seeing your TFSA information lined up here, and then from there you would be able to deposit some money into your account. So once you build your profile and you put all that information in and you finally get your TFSA going, this is what your screen will look like. You're going to have this summary of accounts kind of section here at the top that tells you what's going on with your account. But more importantly, we have our self-directed account that we signed up for in the beginning. So the TFSA will show up here, and then you're gonna have your account number. It's gonna say 5 something blah blah blah. So this is how the homepage looks. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Now what we're going to do is deposit some money into the account. That kind of shows you how to get started with everything here. Actually, before I start doing that, I'm just going to quickly describe what this information says. So cash account is basically all the money that you have readily available to start trading. So that's going to be any money that you deposited into your account, or any dividends that you receive will go into there. If you use your referral code or something and you make some money from there, that will be deposited into your cash account in the TFSA. So basically that's just the money that you have that you can actually spend, or you can take out for your own, personal use. Market value basically is telling you how much your investments are worth right now based on what the market prices are. And then total equity is just going to be the addition of the two. All right, so we're gonna go to this top little tabs here, and in order to deposit some money into the account, we're gonna go under funding. Now, there's a couple of different options. We have online banking, Interac Online, pre-authorized deposit, transfer account to QUESTRADE, and other funding methods. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be going over Interac Online because that's going to be the one that you're most probably going to use the most often. The other ones take about 3 to 4 or maybe even longer, a couple of business days to process your money. The Interac Online, so I'm going to click on it. Now, Interac Online tells you that the funds will be available for trading immediately. Funds and new accounts will be available for trading 1 business day after the account is approved. So this is probably your quickest way to get money into your account. So Interac Online basically just means that you're able to transfer your money from your bank account into your QUESTRADE account quick and easy. Like I said, this is probably the fastest way that you can transfer money into your account. QUESTRADE is telling us that if you use this method, funds will be available for trading immediately, so you can start buying and selling stocks right away. But funds and new accounts will be available for trading 1 business day after your account is approved. So now what we do here is that it's telling us which account that we want the money to go into. So you pick your TFSA, and then let's say we want to transfer $100. Oh, so they already have the cents there, and then you can just press I confirm, press continue. Now it takes you to this little page over here, and this is basically how you're going to transfer your money. Now they are a little bit limited in terms of which banks you can use to transfer your money. They don't have much, to be completely honest. TD, RBC, or the First Nations Bank of Canada are your best options. Now, if you don't see your financial institution or your credit union, then I recommend probably using another method, which is going to follow the same sort of process. But it's just going to take a couple of business days for you to see the money into your account. From here, all you got to do is just choose your RBC account. You log in through your online banking, you press continue, and then the money will be deposited into your account. Very, very straightforward with this method here. So once you do that, you're going to see that cash balance that we were looking at earlier go up based on however much money you deposited into your account. Now that basically sums up how your entire QuestTrade registration process is going to go. You open your account, you choose a margin account or a TFSA, you set up your profile, and then you just deposit some money into your account and you start trading just like that. Very, very simple, straightforward process that not a lot of people talk about for some reason. But anyways, I hope that the QuestTrade example was very straightforward and simple. If it wasn't, or you're still kind of lost in the process somewhere, leave a comment below and I'm going to try to help you guys out as much as possible. Anyways, now we're going to carry on to the Wealthsimple Trade registration process. Now this is going to be a fun one because Wealthsimple Trade is a mobile only platform. They just released their desktop beta app, which I'm going to test out and create a video on a little bit later. But for now, they're known for their mobile app and it's a pretty good app, I have to admit. So we're going to go through that first. So we're going to get started by clicking on the link that's in the description box about the Wealthsimple Trade account that you can start. So we're going to open that and we can click on Chrome. Now it's opening up over here and it's going to tell you that I'm inviting you to use Canada's first $0 commission trading app. So in order to register for an account, we're going to just put an email. So let me just do that real quick. And then you can set a password. Let's do, okay, get the app. I already have the app. Okay, so I'm going to open up the app here and I'm going to put in the credentials that I just registered with. So now basically it's going to go through the similar process that you had to go through for QuestTrade when you're trying to build your profile. It's going to ask you for your personal information, it's going to ask you for your employment records and your SIN number. Once you put all of that information in, it's going to send you to the screen that says please check your email, and that's just to verify your email address. Once you do that, you go into your email, click on verify, then your profile is basically set up. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you actually log into your home screen now. Alright, so once you actually set up your account and you verified your email, you can actually open up your account. Now this account already has some money in it with some investments, so it's going to look a little bit different compared to what your account might look like. But the point over here is that we're going to go through how to deposit some money into the account so that you can actually start buying and selling some stocks as well. Okay, so we're going to go to this little icon that's on the top left of the screen, and it's going to tell me this information that I got going on over here. What we're going to do is we're going to go into funding, and that's basically where we're going to be able to add some money or take money out of our account. So I'm going to click on funding. Now it gives me very, very simple options. You either add funds, or you can move funds, or you can withdraw funds, or you can manage your bank accounts as well. We want to add some funds, so I'm going to click on that. And over here it's telling me personal account versus TFSA. I opened a TFSA account. You could create a personal account, which is similar to your margin account, but I'm just going to click on TFSA here. Then you can just add in however much money you want to include. Let's say, $1 or $100, whatever you want. You can add that into your account here. Like I mentioned before, I think that a $500 to $1,000 range is a pretty good start. So you can add that money in. Once you do all of that, you can press continue, and then it's just going to ask which bank account you want. So you select it, you press continue, and then it just tells you all the information that's left, and then you press submit deposit. Okay, so it's a very simple process on how you can add some money into your account. Wealthsimple actually does a really good job at simplifying this entire process. It's actually very unique in my opinion. Even QUESTRADE app is nothing similar to this. So once you actually submit your deposit, it's going to take a couple of business days. That's kind of one of the bad things one of the things that I don't really like about Wealthsimple Trade. It just takes a lot of time to see your money into your account. But anyways, once you actually submit your deposit, this is what it's going to say. It's going to have available to trade here on this little section, and that's all the money. That's basically like the cash section that we had on QUESTRADE. This is where all the money that you deposited will go into, or any dividends that you get paid will go into this account. And then you can use all this money to buy some stocks, or you can actually withdraw it just in case you need some money for whatever reason. So that's basically all the money that you have to trade. And then from there on, you can just go ahead and start trading if you really want to. Now, I'm going to be going through an entire process on how to actually make some trades using QUESTRADE and Wealthsimple Trade. So stay tuned for a video on that sooner or later. But for now, this was just like a registration kind of process where you should kind of get used to how the app looks like, or the online platform looks like. And you can put some money into your account and kind of get yourself prepared to start buying and selling some stocks, you know? All right, so that's basically the end of the video. Thank you to everyone who's stayed this long in the video. We have covered a lot of information that will get you started onto your investing path. If you do have any further questions, then please leave it in the comments box below. Myself or somebody from the community will get back to you, so don't worry about it too much. If this video was helpful and you learned something out of it, then please share it with a friend or family who could use the information as well. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be somebody out there that you know that needs some help on how to start investing. So please go ahead and share that with your friends and family. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.